Hello and welcome to the MG EV podcast streaming live tonight, Monday, the 1st of November 2021. We're here to talk about MG electric vehicles, hoping to inform and entertain you for about an hour or so. I'm Dave Stewart, username Dave S on the forum, and joining us this week are MG EV owners from South Wales, Michael Fisher.
Hi, username Fish2Bean on the forums.
New to our forum from Norway, Patrick Breitenstein.
Yes, and Tech and Wheels on the forum as well.
And joining us from North Yorkshire, as usual, our Innovations Development Manager, the Charlie Group, Miles Roberts.
Hi everyone, miles per kilowatt hour on the forum.
Great, thanks everybody. And if you're watching us live, thank you for joining us, and please click the like button and join in the discussion in the chat window. We'll be referring to that as much as possible as we go through the podcast. See, there's 86 of you already watching, so thanks very much for giving us your time. And if you're watching later, thank you for choosing to watch the video, but please subscribe and get a notification for the next time we go live. In tonight's podcast, we're going to be chatting mainly about the refreshed MG ZS EV, and the prices have been released, so Miles is going to share some information with us there. And Patrick's had an early experience of driving it. Patrick, welcome aboard. It's good to have you on the podcast. What's your background with driving EVs?
Thank you. Well, I was one of the first in Norway that bought one of the Generation 1 MG ZS EV. And since it was so new, I started making videos. And with the help of Auto Center in Moss, I make more and more videos, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy the car. So it's quite fun to ride and make videos about it.
And very good they are too, if you don't mind me saying.
Thank you.
So thanks. We'll come back to you in a wee bit, but once we've spoken, we'll get the news, breaking news. I'm supposed to go like that. We've got breaking news. The breaking news from Miles about the new 2021 ZS EV pricing. And then Pat, if we could come back, and Patrick, if we could come back and speak to you about what you thought of the car, that would be great. So without further ado, I think it's over to Miles, because you must be bursting with information there, are you?
A bit, yeah. So I got the information pack through from MG this lunchtime. So to clarify, in the UK, there'll be 3 models sold. They're going to change the names. So it's the SE is the entry level, which used to be called the Excite. Then there's the Trophy, and then there's the Trophy Connect. So initially, these are all the longer range vehicles. The standard range isn't going to be coming to the UK just yet, and the pricing has not been revealed as yet. It is going to be likely to be announced early 2022. So initially, all of the cars coming will be the longer range with the 72.8 kilowatt hour battery. So the headlines are that the SE starts from £28,495 on the road after the plug-in car grant. The Trophy starts from £30,995 after the grant, and the Trophy Connect is £500 more, so that's £31,495. And helpfully, we've got some information up on the screen about the specification differences. So if I just go through that, because there are some differences between this model and what was the Excite and Exclusive before. So the good news is that all models now come with MG Pilot as standard. So we've got the active emergency braking, which does pedestrians and bicycles as well, lane keep assist, traffic jam assist, intelligent speed limit assist, and intelligent high beam. They're all included on all models. The only difference being if you go for the Trophy or the Trophy Connect, you also get blind spot detection, lane change assist, and rear cross traffic alert. And they use radar sensors mounted into the rear quarter panels, firing sort of backwards to the sides. So there's some additional sensors which are in the Trophy, which aren't in the SE. But it is good to see that the SE gets the MG Pilot software as standard. Moving down the list, you see that in terms of all the safety and security kits, all models get all safety as standard. So every single one of those boxes. So ABS, dual airbags, side airbags, passenger airbags, all the rest of it. That's all standard across both models. So you don't have to up spec just to get a safer car. And then also, if we move on to the vehicle exterior, we can see all models get bifunction LED headlamps with LED daytime running lights. So again, that's a massive improvement over the halogens that were before. And also, it's good that you get LEDs on all of them, because again, on quite a lot of other vehicles, you have to up spec quite a bit to get LED headlamps. The only difference in terms of exterior wise is that the SE has silver roof rails, so it doesn't have the silver roof rails, doesn't have any roof rails at all. And it also doesn't have heated body mirrors, although according to the spec list there, they are still electrically folding, which they weren't before on the Excite model. Internally, you'll notice that it's fabric seats on the SE versus the vegan-friendly leather style upholstery in the Trophy. And you get a manual driver's seat in the SE rather than an electric driver's seat in the Trophy. You also get heated front seats, which you don't get in the SE model. So overall, there's only a couple of changes there. It might want you to, stretch for the Trophy instead of the SE. They all have automatic air conditioning. They all have remote central locking. The only difference being that you get a particulate filter on the Trophy model, which you don't have on the SE. You don't have rain sensing wipers on the SE, but you do on the rest. And of course, you don't have the panoramic roof on the SE, which you go for on the Trophy. So realistically, it's the heated seats, it's the panoramic roof, it's the pleather interior that you get different on the Trophy. One of the interesting things, actually, if you scroll a bit further down, you'll see that all models in the UK get the 360-degree parking cameras as standard. So whereas on Nissan's model, you have to up spec to a N connector or a Tecna model, which is several £1000s more to get the 360-degree parking cameras, the standard on the SE model and the Trophy on these. And all of them come with iSmart user app. So this is an app that communicates with the car, allows you to do charging management, allows you to preheat the car, pre-cool the car. It says Wi-Fi on there. I don't know if that means it gives you a Wi-Fi hub for the car. This is just all it says on the paperwork at the moment. You can see the vehicle status. You can see, the charging status, if it's currently charged, what percentage, what's your intended range. And you can also locate your car as well. So if you come back from holiday and you've left it in an airport car park somewhere, it gives you an opportunity to try and find it. So you'll notice that the Trophy Connect EV has got one box that nobody else has got, which is iSmart with live surfaces. And this gives you additional live surfaces, and these are provided by Amazon's cloud server. So it gives you live weather, live traffic updates, and it says Amazon Prime. Now I'm led to believe that that's Amazon Music streaming. So similar to Spotify, Google Music, that sort of thing. It gives you Amazon Music streaming as part of the package. Get a full demonstration of this at the press day. I'm at MG's press day on the 11th of November. So next time we speak in 2 weeks, I'll be able to hopefully give you a full rundown and demonstration of those products and services that are included in that. So that's basically what you're paying your £500 extra for the Trophy Connect. It's to get the additional connected live services that are otherwise standard, otherwise aren't included on the other models, sorry. One of the interesting things on that spec list as well, actually, in terms of USB ports and things, you'll see that there's 3 USB ports. There's one in the front, and then there's a USB-C port in the front as well. There's a USB port in the rear and a USB-C port in the rear. There's also a USB port mounted next to the rear view mirror. So if you want to be able to run a dash cam power supply, it means you don't have to run cabling all through the dashboard and everything. You've got just a USB port you can plug into, which is a really nice touch, actually, and it makes good sense when you've got power running up there already, rather than as an aftermarket afterthought, having to pull away the roof lining and the rubber trims around the doors and things to run these cables into the fuse box. To have a power supply ready for you for a dash cam is, I think, very sensible this time. And then if you go for the Trophy, you also get wireless phone charger as well, whereas you don't have that on the SE. And I think that's about all the differences really. So yeah, overall, the SE is actually still quite a compelling product. If you need roof bars, then go for the. Or if you want a panoramic roof, then go for the Trophy. But actually, the SE is not a bad deal at all. And of course, they all come with the longer range battery. Clarify the specifications on the car itself, because we've got those as well. Technical data. So they all have the same motor in them. They all have the same battery. So it's a 72.6 kilowatt hour battery, which is 68.3 kilowatt hours usable space. They have 115 kilowatt motors, slightly up from the 110 we had before. 280 newton meters of torque is the maximum torque. 0 to 60 is around the same sort of time, around 8.2 seconds. Quoted the maximum speed now 108 miles an hour, up from the 89 that it was previously. One difference we have with the UK model versus the European models is that the onboard charge for AC is 7 kilowatts, not 11 kilowatts. And that's due to the fact that a lot of domestic charging in the UK is only on single phase electric. 3-phase is a lot more common on the continent, and but not so much here in the UK. So that's why they've taken the decision just to put a 7 kilowatt AC charger on there. DC, they're quoting up to 76 kilowatts charge rate, which is pretty much on par with where it was before. And then they're quoting, therefore, that on a 100 kilowatt public rapid charger, you expect to go from 10% to 80% in around 42 minutes. So overall, I think it's really good. If we scroll further down that, the only other thing of absolute note, which we should make a point of, is it's now got a 500 kilo towing capacity, 75 kilos roof rail limit, 500 kilos on the tow bar, and a tow ball weight of 50 kilos. So if you're using the tow bar to put bike carriers on, that sort of thing, you should hopefully be able to get a couple of e-bikes on there fairly well as well. So overall, pretty good. I think it's pretty good spec, and I think the pricing is good. If you compare to what else is in the marketplace in terms of the Kia Niros, your Kia Soul EVs, things which have got a similar sort of range, they're a few £1,000s more, quite a few £1,000s more than this car. And I honestly think that with the specification that you've got on this, as well, the Kia Soul EV has had a bit of a cut to its kit list in the UK to try and get it so it sneaks in under the government grant limit of £35,000. So that's got a bit of a cut to its, the sort of standard equipment that comes with it. This has got everything included, and a few £1,000s cheaper than that, and potentially with a better, as good a range, and certainly a bigger boot. So I think that it's a compelling option for a lot of people, to be fair. I think that
quite a few questions coming in for you, Miles. If you want to just take 2 minutes there.
Yeah, just having a quick look.
Can you retrofit roof rails? I would have thought no.
I mean, everything's possible, but probably not for a cost-effective price. It's not something that the dealer would want to do. And if you start cutting into your roof, I guess it's not something most people want to do.
The big one there I see is, I saw one review suggesting the Trophy connectors over-the-air updates. Is that right? Or is it too early to tell?
I believe that all models have over-the-air updates. So I believe that all the SE and everything has over-the-air updates, which is
They do.
great news. As long, because it means that we don't have to randomly call people into the dealership because an update's failed, for example, which is what we had before. So just have a quick look at the comments here. So we've got Jody says heated front seats is different in UK to Europe then, because the specs for them show that both models have heated seats in EU, but you don't get a 360-degree camera on the base EU model. Yeah, Jody, I noticed that as well. That was the things that jumped out to me from the spec list. I think it's not a bad trade-off. I think 360-degree cameras are pretty good. What have we got? Automotive L3, £500 extra just to get Amazon Prime on app. The Trophy Connect is not worth it, as Amazon will up the monthly charges after a set period. If you don't pay, you have a worthless infotainment. Again, I'll find out the full information on that. I believe that the £500 gets you Amazon Prime streaming for the time you have the car. I don't know that there's a time limit on it. Again, we'll clarify. But if it's, say 3 or 4 years of Amazon Prime, I think I currently pay about 15 or 20 pounds a month for Amazon Prime Music streaming, for unlimited streaming.
Right.
So again, that adds up. If you think, it's 20 pounds, normally I'd pay for that, but I save it, then maybe that's good. Jake put if it's going to be an annual cost or if it's life ownership of the car. I believe it's life ownership of the car, Jake. They're not charging £500 a year for
that. Ken asks, is it possible to upgrade to the Connect as a software update later? Because he ordered the trophy today.
I don't believe so. So again, I'll hopefully get some information on this. We've ordered everyone as a Trophy Connect initially. Everyone that put down the diesel, we just ordered them a top spec. If they said trophy, we've ordered a Trophy Connect. We don't know what the difference is. My thought is that it's a software thing, but the fact that there are different things on the order form as a trophy or a Trophy Connect makes me think they might not be. So I physically have to order a Trophy Connect rather than a trophy car. So I don't know if there's going to be an upgrade, but I will certainly get that answer when I'm at the press day on the 11th of November.
Could you just repeat the pricing, please, again, Miles? Because there's a few folk asking.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So the recommended retail price after the plug-in car grant, the SE is £28,495. The trophy is £30,995, which is £2,500 increase. And the Trophy Connect is £31,495, so £500 over and above the trophy.
I don't know why I'm having problems with my camera. Sorry about that, guys.
It's okay. It's an improvement for the rest of us, Dave. So in terms of other questions about that are going on, I pretty much think that Patrick can probably answer some more of these questions because he's physically driven the car and I have yet to. So I think it's probably a good time for us to pass back across to Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick, again, welcome.
Yes.
And I think everybody's keen to hear what your experience has been driving the new car. And please, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Yeah, when the dealership called me and said I have to try the car, I was really excited. So there was a lot of emotion because that that car was quite amazing to drive. The first thing I did is of course go around and see that it had the 360 cameras and to see all the update that was done after the Generation 1. I popped up the bonnet and I found out that they had soundproofed the whole engine compartment, and the engine is new as well, with 154 brake horsepower. So, and what was new as well, the ABS is different, is new, and when I drove the car, there was as well a traction control. So when you just floor it, the wheel doesn't spin. So you just get a really nice pace, and you get you get the feeling of those 154 horsepower. So, and it was really silent in the car, and I liked as well the new display in the car, really responsive and big as well. I like the placement of the new how it's called, the USB and the USB-C. That was really nice as well. So that was a nice experience. Really nice
it's more out
experience.
in the open now, isn't it? The USB.
Yes.
Rather than being tucked away underneath.
Exactly. It's all open, and I mean the one I tried was the exclusive, and it has. You can just put your phone down there and just charge. So it's really easy to reach. They have thought of it, so that's really nice to see those difference.
And the ride quality here. Some folk were complaining in early doors about the suspension. What's the suspension like in the?
I think that I felt that it was a little bit more down to the ground. So I felt that the suspension, I I haven't checked, but on the feeling, on the I felt really good driving the car. It was a little bit. It was another experience than the Generation 1, definitely.
Yeah. And certainly the whole frontage is a new design, and I think it's probably more eye-catching than the. Sorry, Mike, I'm looking at your version there, but certainly it's more sort of like a shark front, not dissimilar to a few other cars in the market actually, but I suppose they're all going for that type of aerodynamic look, I would suggest.
Yeah, and there will be a little bit less problem when you charge, because now the door, instead of opening on the top, it opens sideways, so you see the connection straight away. And you have as well on the side the LED that shows you the battery status, so you don't have to go back in the car to see the status. You see it right away when you charge the car. So you have some lights like on a mobile, which is a really nice touch.
And of course, no pulsing MG logo now. So you've got the LEDs there to tell you how you're doing with the charge. That's good. And I suppose, Miles, app-wise, you can go onto the app and see how your car is charging. Is that the case? Or?
Yes, that's true. Yeah. So on front of the car, it's got the sort of 4-bar, or I think it's got 4 segments to show you, how quarter full, half full, 3/4 full, or full. But on the app itself, it will show you the percentage that the car is currently charged at. So same as it does on things like the Nissan Leaf and Hyundai Kona and so on when you have app integration.
Good. It sounds really good. So how long have you had the car now for, Patrick?
I had the chance to have it 3 days in a row, just to test drive it a little bit. So I didn't keep it at home, but I went 3 times to drive with the car.
Nice.
So I didn't manage to do a range test yet, but because it's so new that there was a lot of people wanted to try it. So just waiting until it comes a little bit more, and then I can maybe do a range test or something.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think the range edition is fantastic, especially the
Definitely
272 miles for us. It's almost a game changer, I would suggest. Miles.
So yeah, it really is brilliant for us to have that sort of range. And I think, obviously, bear in mind we're in Ireland. There's only so far you can drive. But Dave, as you'll testament, it's quite a long bloody way from one end of the island to the other. It's I think that having sort of that sort of range, it's like I was saying to a friend today. I said having over 250 miles of range just means that you can stop and charge when you want to stop and charge. You're not dictated to that, because the spacing of charges may only be, in some cases, you might drive 40 miles before you get to another charger. So it might be that you've done, in the original, MG ZS, it's wintertime, you've done 90 miles, but you think, right, okay, well, it says I can do another 55, maybe, but, and it's 40 miles to the charger. Do I really want to be getting that low down in my state of charge before I can charge? And then potentially the charger might be out of service, something like that. So instead, if you can drive a couple of, you can drive 150, 200 miles and go, okay, well, I've still got 75, 80 miles left, maybe 100 miles left. It just gives you that flexibility, doesn't it? That you can do such longer journeys and go, oh, right, now I can stop. Now I've had enough driving. You don't, you're not dictated by the car. I think that makes a lot more freedom for people.
As always, what have I said? Automotive L3 has come back saying I prefer the old grill, the old style grill. So yeah, I think somebody had done a mock-up of the new style grill with a wrap or something like that on it. That actually looked pretty damn good, I thought. But yeah, so the one tone will please some people, but displease quite a few others. And as I say, my only sort of takeaway from it was it does look a bit like the Nero and a bit like a few other cars, the Mach E or whatever it is. They all got similar style of frontage. Michael's picking news and anything else that's come up that I've missed when we're chatting there?
Is there heat pump included in this, or is it still the good old-fashioned electrical heater?
Pass.
No.
I don't know because I haven't looked into the bonnet of one yet. Pat, did you know? Were you able to see if it had a heat pump, or do you know?
No,
or
no, I didn't see that.
it's a question I will ask at the first day.
And I think it was asked last week or last podcast, somebody was asking, is it still no adjustment on the passenger seat?
Correct.
Still no adjustment.
Well, it says there's four-way adjustment, which I guess means
Manual.
it means you can move the back like that, and it means you can move the seat forwards and backwards. It doesn't do height.
I think your comment was use a cushion, I think, as I recall, which was very helpful, Miles.
Oh, is there wireless CarPlay / Android Auto, or is it wired?
The Android Auto is
Yeah.
is wired, but that's the app. But the CarPlay it's wireless. I mean, if you have a iPhone, it's wireless, but with Android, you need the cable to connect.
Okay,
A
cool.
couple of things I couldn't, and I watched your videos, Pat, and I was looking at, one of the things was, what's the display like on the dash? You can see it briefly, I think, in one of your, the second video, but it looks like it's more lights going round and digital rather than the traditional analog pointer.
Yeah, the dashboard it's totally digital. It's I mean, it looks really nice, and I'm waiting to get a new camera so that I can do a little bit more about it. But with a normal camera, it just flickers. So
of course, yeah.
I'm gonna do one without flickering. So I just have to wait to get a new camera, and I can do a little bit more about the dashboard and the new console.
Yeah, well, let us know when you've posted that up. That would be good. The other thing is, it looks like the control panels for the roof window look completely different configurations. Is that the case? Yeah.
Yes, and it's easier to access. You don't have the wheel you have to turn. It's just a button. So a button, and it opens the roof. So it's in a way it's easier to access. That's right.
Same as the HS model, actually. Same controls as you find the MGHS.
All right, I haven't looked at that. So it's still got the tilt and then full opening and the sunproof mat or screen as well.
Yes, still got the sunscreen there. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that could be tempting me, Miles. It could be tempting me.
It's it's also got vehicle to load, so you can, run things off your car if you wish to. It's also, I'm just noticing some of the questions coming through. Can you preheat the car to defrost and warm before you go off to work in the morning? Yes, you can. Is it done via the app or the car settings? Both is possible. It's got Jake's put, I've seen that the roof can be opened via voice activation. Yeah, I believe it's got voice control, so you can just say,
"Hello MG.
Hello MG, open your roof," and it will do that. Whether it'll respond to such strong accents as some of our listeners, David, I don't know, but
there's a great video of two Scotsmen.
Lift one.
There's a great video of two Scotsmen in a lift wanting to go to floor 11. So I can just foresee that. MG. How do I get picked on every week? It's just not
easy. Yeah.
That's easy.
Has the car got tints in the tinted windows, Pat?
Yes, in the back. Yes, only the back window, not the small one between the back and the. You have the little small one. This
That's
one
not
is not
tinted?
No, but the back one is tinted.
Oh, so the side windows are tinted.
Yes.
The window on the back for the. So the back is not tinted.
It wasn't on.
So just the side windows.
Yes.
Bizarre.
It was one of the first questions, so I went 3 times around the car to be sure.
So the tailgate window isn't tinted, but the side
side windows are. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's a bit strange.
I'll sort this out.
We'll see what it's like next week in the UK. It might be that It doesn't look tinted on some of the photos, that's the thing, but then it does on others. So yeah, we'll see what's actually there in the UK. Yours was a production spec left-hand drive though, wasn't it, Pat? Obviously it was a full production car, yes.
Conrad's asking if the steering wheel rakes, I think it's much more flexible than the current.
Does it go in and out as well as up and down?
Yeah.
No, I think it's the same as the generation one on the one I tried. That was as well one of the questions.
Oh, it just goes up and down. It doesn't go in and out. Okay.
All right.
I'm looking at my spec list here. I'm just trying to see if it mentions it at all.
Oh, there's some, and of course I picked up on the really contentious point. Some of the pictures show that it's got a long aerial, and some of it show it's got a shark fin aerial. Very keen to see which aerial.
For the radio antenna, Pat, did you notice? Has it got, what sort of antenna does it have on the car aerial for the radio?
I didn't check. I have to go and check the picture I took, but I didn't check the. It wasn't one of the priority of.
No.
Well, you've really got to look at your priorities there, Patrick.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I'll do it better next time.
Just take it off.
Promise.
You've only done 2 podcasts on the car within a week of it being released, and you can't tell me about the aerial. That's yeah, Stuart.
The images here I have from MG show it with a shark fin, but
yeah, that's what I noticed.
I think he had the shark fin.
Mm-hmm. That could be a decider for me. Some other really good comments coming in. A lot of folk questioning about the tinting, Miles. You're going to have your work cut out on this, but by the photos on the website,
all I can say is my local tinting firm would be very happy if it hasn't got proper tints, because we currently keep them in business. So yeah, if we need to get all the cars tinted or partially tinted or whatever, I'm sure they'll be very, very happy.
Yeah, good. Anything else that I've missed there, Mike?
Has the service intervals changed? Mark asked.
Not to my knowledge. It's all 12 months, 15,000 miles. So that's the same as it was before.
Question for Pat: how was the efficiency compared to the old ZS? The new ZS looks more aerodynamic.
Yeah, again, I have to do a range test, but I mean, when you have 440 kilometers, it was not. I mean, it's just, as you say, just to drive and you charge whenever you want. So I wasn't thinking of checking of the efficiency, but I think it was quite all right. But I think the specs are quite the same for the efficiency for the both. They are based on I think on the same chassis, except one is 65 kilo heavier due to the battery, but it doesn't make a lot of change as well. More.
The charging point, obviously the door now flips open and there's no bungs. When it closes, it seals flush. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's going to be a lot easier, because I was trying to charge up at a charger which didn't work very high up in the Scottish Highlands, a place called Dalwhinnie. Lovely whiskey there from there. Mm-hmm. And the bungs and I was getting so hacked off it. So the door, it's not the biggest problem in the world, but the door mechanism will be a lot easier, I would think. Yeah, there's
definitely. Well, it was a little bit the problem here in Norway, because on the generation 1, the door used to freeze when you were below 20, so it was a little bit hard. So people they used grease to
Oh wow!
So you couldn't lock it, but it won't be that problem with the other one. But I think just a little bit of grease and it works. It works again. But I mean, I used to drive with it nearly open in the winter when it's really, really cold. But again, when with the new generation, I think they found out that it's easier as well to have the door opening sideways.
I must admit, in the early days, I drove about 25 miles on motorway driving in Scotland with the grille up. I forgot to put the grille back down. And it wasn't until I could see something moving at the end of the bonnet that, oh God, no, but sure that wouldn't have done
Happens
it.
to the best
Yeah.
of us, Dave. I've done that as well.
Yeah,
Ah.
been there, done that.
Oh, I see. I confess first and then everybody jumps on it. Yeah, that's okay. But no, I think all in all, kudos to MG. It looks a nicer car, certainly looks a more attractive package just from the range. The top speed increasing, not a huge one for me. I think I've said it in podcasts before, I think I've actually become a slower driver since I got an electric car. I'm a lot more thoughtful, a lot more reading the road about, how am I approaching a hill and things like that, rather than just putting the foot down. But
See, Dave, once you get a car with a bigger range, you'll have that devil may care attitude again, and you'll just be put to the floor, the wind in some of your hair.
Yeah, yeah, that's what happened to it. But I think it was Charlotte said a couple of weeks ago that she likes the size of the ZS because it feels big, and I've been thinking about what she said. I think she's right. When you're particularly at low speed, it's quite a nice car just to drive, and it maneuvers well. And if the suspension and everything's better, then gosh, that's going to be a better drive experience all round. So yeah, tire wise, exactly the same format as it, Miles, do you know, or
Tires, so the tire profile's changed to a 55 profile from 50. So previously it was 215 50 17, is now 215 55 17. So the slightly higher profile gives a slightly more cushioned ride, gives you slightly more ground clearance. One thing also is that the wheels are lightweight aluminium alloy wheels with hubcaps, similar to the Tesla Model 3 and the Hyundai Kona and various other electric vehicles. They have alloy wheels, but with a trim that goes over them to give it more aero efficiency.
okay. Mike Proctor just won't let it go, will he? What's suspension like?
Well, Mike,
doesn't matter, Mike. It doesn't matter, Mike. You're going to change it anyway.
Yeah.
But we were covering that earlier. That you certainly felt, Patrick, that was a better suspension configuration.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I usually test drive it on the same road as I test drive all the other cars, and I felt, it feels a little bit, it feels better than driving the new facelift, definitely.
And Neil Gascoigne's been as technical as me. What's the suspension like? Bouncy. That's
Does it regen on ACC?
Nope. No, sorry. That was as well one of the first tests I did.
Yeah, I saw on your video and I was like, oh no.
Oh no. Now we're waiting for the MG5. This one does.
Yes, the MG5 does it. Apparently it's got a different braking control ECU between the models, and that's one thing that they couldn't implement on the ZS for that reason. Just to cover off a couple of other questions people have said about the finance costs and things. So to clarify, affinity discount is not currently applicable on the ZS EV facelift in the UK. However, they're going to reevaluate depending on supply in January and see whether they can put it on then. Likewise, it's not currently available on Motability yet. We haven't got any finance offers available yet. The financing we should hopefully be able to quote from Thursday this week. Once I've got some finance examples, I'll be able to put those on the forum. What else have we got? Have dealers got demo cars in yet so it can be seen in the flesh? No, they're going to be landing with dealers from the 22nd of November in the UK, with the first customer cars likely to arrive from December. They keep asking about rear cabin lights. Don't believe it has any lights in the rear of the ZS EV facelift, as per the original. Don't know why it would make sense for me to have them in there. I don't know why it doesn't have them. The HS has rear cabin lights. It's a different car. I don't know. The ZS Petrol doesn't have rear cabin lights. I don't know why that is. Mark Mills can't survive without an auto-dimming rear view mirror.
I'm with Mark there. It's one thing I missed from a Seat. I just loved that.
It's a first world problem. I think if you can't survive without a dimming rear view mirror, I'd put water and food way above those, and in fact I put free Wi-Fi a long way above that as well. What else have we got? Also, yeah, financing. Well, financing things. Well, probably best if I mention actually. Obviously, as part of the forum, I've been a member of this forum now for a couple of years since myself and Stuart met in the Electric Vehicle Festival at Gaydon back in 2019 in July, when I had one of the pre-production MGZS EVs at the show. Tried to come up with some sort of offer to say thank you to the members. So if anyone is a member of the MG EVs forum, presumably everyone watching this video will be, then if they want to buy their car from Chorley Group, the dealership that I work at, then we will give you an additional £500 discount, a free Type 2 charging cable, and a set of carpet mats for free. Now that discount is on top of the finance incentive, which is apparently a £1,500 deposit contribution from MG. So potentially, if you take the car on finance, you've got effectively £2,000 less to finance on over the balance. So the SE would come down to 26,495. The Trophy would be 28,995, and the Trophy Connect Long Range would be 29,495. You could actually take finance just to get the extra £1,500 deposit contribution and then pay it off a month later if that's something you wanted to do. That's one of the benefits of having a finance agreement, is that you're able to pay it off at any time without any detriment to your financial standing, or any extra additional charges and things. So you could potentially do that. So yeah, potentially that's a way of saving £2,000 on those previously mentioned recommended retail prices, and also getting a set of mats and a Type 2 cable thrown in free. So hopefully that's a nice sort of sweetener for people. And obviously, you know, we can arrange delivery and things like that. So if anyone wants to contact us, the phone numbers for the branches are on the forum website. There's a link to it on the classified ads in the ZSEV forum. And yeah, obviously, you know, just that's what we're going to try and do initially. If there's any better deals come across, if we, you know, if the finance deals come out, we can offer a better package than that. We will obviously update the package and we'll let our customers have the better deal. But at the moment, that's the best deal that we have available. But you say, you know, MG hasn't given us any finance details. One thing that MG has said is that the residual values that the finance company are using are 6.4% better than the previous model, percentage-wise. So it means that hopefully the finance prices, the monthly payments should be not much different from what people are being used to paying on the original ZS. So yes, the list price may have gone up, but actually when you look at the sort of, you know, what people actually pay, the finance payments are probably very, very similar. So if not better. So that's good news. Keith, how long will the Chorley offer last for? At least this quarter. I'll review it in January and see if we can make it any better, or whether it has to maybe made worse. You know, see what happens with the market. But yeah, at least until the end of December. So if any orders placed up until December, we'll stand by that. And I say if offers change, we'll renew them for the new quarter.
Yeah, somebody's asking if the prices are likely to go up in January, but I think you said that they're launching it probably.
I believe that the probably have baked in any price increase in this model. The MG5 I expect to have an increase in value, in price, sorry, and other models I expect them to have a price increase. This one, with it being launched pricing in November, I don't expect them to put them up in January unless something seriously goes wrong with exchange rates.
There's a man after my own heart asking, there's no risk of the bongs reappearing after they had to be sorted out with the Comfort 2-pack.
Patrick, you've driven the car. There was no random bongs and bings on when you were driving?
No, not at all.
No. So yeah,
No.
and the improvements that they made from Comfort 2, I'm sure have been carried forward and improved even further. Wayne said, should I order now or wait until Thursday then, Miles? Up to you, Wayne. Just to let you know, though, we've placed 50 orders ourselves today for customers already on the system. Now, if there's 120 dealers in the UK thereabouts, if all of them are placed 50 orders, not all of them will, but if all of them played 50 orders, then that's an awful lot of cars that aren't going to come for in December. Certainly, they're probably going to be coming sort of January, February, March, just with the length of lead times. Now, if a lot of dealers might not have placed that many orders. You know, some small dealers may have only placed 1 or 2, in which case, you know, there might not be such long lead times. But I'd say get your order in sooner if you want the car to come sooner. If you put a £200 deposit down with us and you change your mind when the finance deal comes out, we'll refund you £200. We're not going to hold you to it, but it just gives us a bit of a show of commitment to, you know, get us to place an order for you. After all, if you don't like the car, we're going to still keep the order. We'll sell it to somebody else probably. But just a show of willing on both sides, isn't it?
And just to recap from what you were saying a couple of weeks ago, Miles, there's new colours, isn't there, for bodywork colours?
So the new colours, yeah. So we've got Battersea Blue, which is the blue that a lot of the imagery has been used with on the advertising. Patrick, I don't know about you, that's not my favourite colour. I think that it looks better in some of the other colours, but it's a new colour, so that's what they've advertised it with.
I like it in black.
There's the pearl black as standard before. There's still the tricoat red. There's Arctic white is the free colour still. And there's monument silver is the new colour. Mike, you've obviously got Pimlico blue. That's now a dead colour. That's no longer allowed. It's limited edition, you may say. What would be your view if you were to change car? Would you stick with?
I'd probably go for the silver.
Yeah, because obviously your Pimlico is probably close to the silver.
Yeah,
the Battersea Blue in some ways.
I've seen an HS. Is it the same silver as the HS?
I think if that's still that Monument Silver or not. Monument Silver is used on the Petrol ZS. I think it could be the same as the HS.
I thought
there's a few different silvers that MG uses because they have they have a different silver on the MG5, a different one again.
And just so Miles can take the rip out of me again, there's a cost equivalent of trading up to the other colours, isn't there?
Yeah, so as per the thing that Stuart kindly put on the screen there, so it's £545 extra if you go for metallic paint, and it's £695 extra if you go for the dynamic red tricoat. If you go for Arctic white, then it's included in the retail price. So yeah,
I would say black or silver, just so that you got a nice bonnet colour rather than the blue.
You have it in red as well.
Yeah, I like the red on my wife's car's red. Obviously, you know, we like red here at MG. But in terms of the car, if the car was on my driveway, actually, I think looking at it with the new bonnet and everything, new grille and everything, or lack thereof, the new lacquer grille, I think it looks good in black and silver. But hopefully I'll get to see them all in the flesh or in metal next week and sort of compare side by side. But my initial view from looking at the photos is silver probably looks good. Couple of quick questions that have come into YouTube whilst we've been talking. Are dealers limited to numbers? Is it better waiting for a local dealer to get their house in order? Wayne, no. The orders are placed in order of when people put them on. So if I put on 50 orders at 10 a.m. today, and somebody puts in an order at only puts on one order that they have, but they put it on tomorrow, my 50 orders take precedence over their single one. Unfortunately for them. If what happens to trade-in value while waiting for new cars? Keith says, basically, it's difficult. We'll give you a value today, and probably what's going to happen is if your car is on finance, whatever finance payments you make in the 2-3 months between and now means that even if your car drops by a couple of £100 in the meantime, because you've made payments on your finance, the amount of equity will stay the same. So there won't be any difference there. As we are at the moment, trading values are crazy on all cars. My wife's car's gone up in value by £3,000 since March, which is ridiculous. Patrick, this probably doesn't make sense to you, but in UK, all of the used cars basically commanding a premium because there's such a delay on supply of new cars. So we used to sell the original ZS EV as like a special offer new deal price of like £22,995.
Yep.
And my wife's car is apparently, after a year and 10,000 miles, still worth £22,000.
That's correct. We have the same here in Norway. I checked this morning. I mean, the devaluation is about 4.4% for the MG ZS. I mean, if you have a 2020 model that has 20,000 kilometers, you just lost 4.4%. And if you take other cars in the same EVs 2020, then you're around the 20, 27, 30% loss. So MG didn't lose much.
No,
at all.
no. So yeah, it's good. So, but in terms of answering Keith's question, it's a bit of a finger in the air job for us at the moment. We're fairly confident that we can give you a price now that we'll be able to stand on in February, March. If your car was being delayed, like some Nissan models are 9-month delivery times now. If you want a cash guy, you could have a baby in between now and the car coming. So it's it's obviously difficult in those cases to give a part exchange valuation for nearly a year down the line. But with MG, we're fairly okay. Yes, we can take the original ZS EV in part exchange. We'll bite your hand off for any part exchange, to be perfectly honest, at the moment. People I've been talking to already wanting to trade up to the new ZS include people in somebody with a smart 4.4 EV, someone with a what are the other cars we've had? Somebody with a short range Nero. We've had someone with a Kona. Quite a few Leaf customers. So there's a variety of people wanting to trade to the new long range MG ZS EV.
See Dave Friend sticking the boot into poor Stuart, saying you'll have to upgrade the banner with all the new car designs.
We'll have to make an animated GIF with them all just cycling through, I think.
That's right, that's what he's got to do. And of course, as was pointed out a couple of weeks ago, the merchandise will become much more exclusive. And so buy now before capture your...
Well, show your allegiance to the existing model if that's what you have, Mike. Have you got... Are you wearing your... yes.
Good man.
Limited edition wheels, yes.
And the prices of those are going up.
Miles? You said that the price is going up a little bit, but I mean, if you think about it, the SE long range is cheaper than the first version of exclusive, and then you get 440 kilometer of range. You get
I think it's great value. I think it's really good
500
value.
kilo towing and 156 brake horsepower.
I think it's a really good package, and I think if you compare with what else is out there on the marketplace, there's very little with the space that the MG offers, as in the SUV packaging, you know, and the large boot and that sort of thing, versus you know, the ID3 is smaller car, and to be perfectly honest, having sat in the ID3, it feels a lot more low rent, particularly with it being it feels like a lot cheaper plastic, particularly in the back of the MG. The ID3, it feels like quite a cheap place to sit. It's like it feels more like the Polo, should we say, in terms of interior quality, rather than Golf or Passat, that sort of thing. It does feel a lot cheaper for me, and I think that with a lot of these other cars, we sell Kia, we sell Hyundai as well from our dealerships, and Vauxhall and so on, and the price of this. The SE version here is the same as what you would pay for the Corsa electric. And there's a world away in terms of range, because the Corsa struggles to get 200 miles on a sunny day down a hill. And the the interior quality of the Corsa as well.
You're saying something, the seat has been better as well in the facelift. So they have improved the seating, so you have a little bit better low back
lumbar support,
protection. Yeah, lumbar support, and now it's you will enjoy it. It's really nice to sit in.
I quite like the petrol version have got the MG logo embossed into the driver's seat and the passenger seat. I think that's quite nice.
Oh, the MG logo embossed into the headrest. I think that carries forward to the EV as well.
Does it? Oh, right. That'd be quite good.
I think it did on the one I sat in, yeah.
Looks quite nice, yeah. Great. Well, and that's a really nice comment. Somebody just said, thanks, it's been an informative podcast. And great. We like to hear that because this is your podcast. We change things around as much as we possibly can to try and serve you better. And certainly by referring much more to the comments during the podcasts, hopefully we are touching on the things that you want to know. And it gives Miles a hard time as well, being asked so many questions, but he loves it. So that's just about covered all we have, unless we pick up some more items. Mike, you had an interesting experience this week. Do you want to share? Well, I'm sure.
Well, it wasn't this week. It was last month when I drove up to Liverpool for the Pokemon Go Safari zone. On the way back on the Saturday, whilst driving back down, I had to stop at Hatton Park to charge because the next two charging stations were out of use. But on the motorway, then there was a nice, lovely sign on the big dot matrix sign saying Gloucester services no EV charging. I was like, what? This is unusual. They don't normally tell us of these things on the motorway. Normally, it's like no petrol. But yeah, Gloucester services no EV charging. So I was like, oh, that's new. Right, quickly take the photo. But yeah, the journey was uneventful. I was able to charge thanks to GridServe, and yeah, it was a nice, easy drive.
Good. Oh, well, if you were Stuart Whitman, you'd be telling us how you had gone past every charger, and then if you were Sean Cullen, you'd be telling us what meals you had at every pit stop as well. So you're going to have to up your as well, Mike.
Yeah, it was Greg's at what those one I stopped at.
Other fine food purveyors are also available.
Yes, but they're more expensive than Greg's.
Yeah. So no, that's the first time I've ever seen a no EV. That would be quite handy if you were actually at the charger sometimes. But I've heard a strange thing. I noticed that there's two occasions now, one in Inverness and one over in Gaylord. Chargers now in, but not on either ZapMap or ChargePlay Scotland apps. So I can see that I can actually add them. So I'm going to do that. But two new charging points that nobody.
Yeah, it seems like what's called GridServe is picking up things because that's not my name. It's just said Gloucester just got upgraded, so it's probably while I was travelling down, they were in the progress of upgrading
the old chargers out. Yeah.
Also, Patrick,
yes?
the battery tab, the switch. What does it do on the new ZS?
Center console.
Yeah.
It does the same as
Oh, it just brings up battery, or is it just dead?
No, it's not dead.
Okay.
It's functional. But I mean, you nearly don't need it because you have all the info on the screen.
Oh.
So I think even the percent is on. But again, I might do a video of all the different technology.
If you would, Patrick, that'd be brilliant. Yeah. And charging times, Miles, do you have any breakdown yet of, at the moment it's up to about 80% in about 45 minutes?
So it says charging time on a 3-pin charge, you're looking at 34 hours because it's, trying to take 2.2 kilowatts. On a 7 kilowatt charger, it would be 10.5 hours from flat to full. So I guess you're looking at about sort of 10% an hour, aren't you? On a 50 kilowatt public rapid charger, from 10% to 80% would be 1 hour, 3 minutes. And on a 100 kilowatt public rapid charger, it reckons 42 minutes, again, from 10% to 80%. If you're plugging in when you've got 30 or 40% left, it's obviously going to take less time to get to 80.
But I think that the facelift didn't came with the old 3-pin charger.
Was it not?
No, I think they took it away.
So it
would take too long to charge it.
Well, I think in the UK it's still going to come with that as an emergency use thing.
Great.
That's a good for you. I will keep my old one anyhow.
So that's good. We've covered quite a lot there tonight. One of the things I meant to say is, and particularly about some of the threads that we've covered recently, when we're speaking about the cars, regardless of what variant, we speak openly as owners and we share our viewpoints. Now, if something is annoying, we mention that it's annoying. I noticed somebody started up a whole thread asking if the MG was junk and pelters. You just got absolute pelters for. But I respect the guy's right for putting that in, and he had the decency to come back and say that he had rethought his opinion. But yeah, when we are speaking, we're speaking about things we've experienced. Everybody's heard about my bad battery experience, but I think Stuart Wright actually responded to the guy saying, even I, and I've can't be a convert because I've always loved the car, but we went through that phase where the battery was so difficult, but now it's absolutely fantastic. So when we are speaking, we are sharing what we believe of the car rather than sugarcoating anything or being malicious or whatever. So please, I hope we're achieving the right balance. And one of the other things, similar to what Mike was saying there, it's great when you have information. I'm going to start a thread later on this week because we spoke about it a few months ago. Is we really want to know what the overall EV driving experience is for everybody. And I know, we have had some women coming on and telling their experience, but I picked up in an article written in Scotland about driving an EV in Scotland. And it was specifically that. What would it be like if you were a single woman driving around a particular route in Scotland? And it was saying if you had to charge up in an evening, you were in a very dark, far corner of an industrial estate with almost a sign over saying single woman waiting here. And it it certainly made me think that it was something we should think about. As somebody else brought up before, what's the experience like for somebody with a disability? So I'll put a thread out. We'll maybe get that started and have a look at, could we maybe try and get some folk to respond to that? Because we really do want to know what folks' thoughts are. And I've looked at it more recently. It's great that the charger is in the front grille. But when you pull up to some chargers, if you had to use a wheelchair, you couldn't get round to the front of the car because of the curb at the charger or the bollards and things. So it'd be interesting just to know what your viewpoint, what your experience is. So we'll maybe get something about that out quite soon. So, guys, I think I'll bring it to a close now. Oh my gosh, we're doing well for time. So before I go, there's a few things I want to bring to everybody's attention. Please, it's really good value. I learned a lot. So please visit Patrick's Tech and Wheels with Pat on YouTube and watch his videos. And again, I said right at the start, Patrick, thank you very much for doing that. I thoroughly enjoyed it and learned so much as well. So thanks for sharing that with us. If you'd like to support us, please consider the MG EVs Forum Premier membership. And for just £3 a month, it gives you the Premier membership badge, the ability to upload the profile banner, the ability to select the MG red theme. And I can say exclusively because the word exclusive now is no longer tied to a brand. And of course, there's a discount for MG EV merchandise, a full 10% when you use the code. And also, you're helping us produce the community podcast and the whole forum. So please have a look at the merchandise. And thank you. I think a couple of weeks ago, somebody actually made a donation, which was very kind of them as well. So we do appreciate that. So is there anything I'm missing on the?
Can I say, Dave, next podcast will be in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks today.
Right.
By which point I'll have hopefully had a chance to drive the new ZS EV around London and be able to report back and answer some of the questions that have been asked today. So if you think of any further questions, if you post them in the thread on the forum for the podcast, if you put the podcast thread for 1st of November, If you post any questions that you've got that you need answers to on there, I will answer them. If not straight away, then I'll answer them certainly for the 11th, after being on the press day on the 11th of November.
That's brilliant. So you're test driving it in London. We'll hear what the car's like after 6 miles driving.
Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, it's going to be like literally like last time I drove the original ZS EV through London, it was 2 hours and I did 5 miles. So I've got 4 hours this time. So hopefully I might be able to do 10 miles maybe. I don't know if I can get out of London, if I can get onto the ring road. It just depends what the M25 is like, and it's, you know, if the weather's like it's been this week, it's going to be fairly awful anywhere, isn't it? So we'll just see.
But yeah, please everybody get your questions into that thread, and Miles can pick them up on the next podcast. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. A special thank you to Patrick from Norway.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Mike Fisher in Wales.
Good night, all. Good night, all.
And again, Miles, thank you very much for all the information. It's been absolutely great.
No, thanks, guys, and thanks very much, Pat.
Yeah. We'll be back, as Miles says, in a couple of weeks' time. So please click the likes and the subscribes. And thank you for all the comments. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's podcast. Thanks, everybody. Good night and goodbye.